Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you very much for coming by the channel once again to see some more Captain Tsubasa Dream Team here with the homie Nako, bringing you in this video a quick overview of the new bond system that was put into place after the 4-hour extended maintenance that was pre-announced. Okay, it was not a surprise. They left it in the notifications and everything. They mentioned that it's happening 4 hours, and so it was fun to be there with Steiner. I was mostly like lurking in the background, taking care of stuff and like listening and whatever. So I wasn't as participated in the chat as much, but it was fun to be around and to listen and to wait with anticipation, and then just have all these ideas flowing in our heads and everything of all the different stuff that we're gonna be able to do. And it's just, it feels nice. It feels nice. What also feels nice is when you don't forget to hit that like button and you don't forget to hit that subscribe. We're very close, everybody, very close to reaching that 1,000. So please hook me up and help me reach that goal that I could definitely use the pick me up. Okay, so let's go and check out with examples. And now show you. I'm not gonna be secretive about like what I've been looking at and blah blah blah, right? And so in some of the comments that I read through, I've been meaning to go through them to like respond and everything, but in between like hospital visits and dealing with stuff over the phone and making time to record, then edit and upload and getting sleep and the kids and all of that, it's been a little hard for me to take the time to comment. And when I do have the time to comment, I'm trying to distract my mind from all the stuff that I'm just like wasting time on my phone. I could be responding, I know I could be, but that's my bad. All right, I'm trying to make some changes, and maybe I should get it through my mind that like, hey dude, well come on, I know I want to respond, and I like to take the time to respond. I don't like to just be like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Like, even if sometimes I leave like a short message or whatever, like I still want to like put some thought into it, But like I don't know. I guess I'm stuck in my old ways of like, when like problems are happening or whatever, you look for like ways to distract yourself or whatever, and obviously replying to people's commentary on my channel would be definitely a good way to distract myself. That's not what I do for whatever reason, and that's something I want to do. And it was funny the other day while I was waiting at the hospital for a loved one that I was waiting for to come out. And I was like, oh yeah, I have time to respond right now. Let me start responding. I responded on like one, and then that person came out. I was like, oh yeah. So like I started too late, but anyway, what we're here to talk about is the bond system. Like I said, I get distracted easily. Okay, so the bond system. This one was just an auto, so that's why it shows like that. Right now we have this that was added up here. You click on that, and that's what's going to take you to the screen that allows you to select players and stuff like that. Okay, now a lot I prepared beforehand in terms of like putting teams together and like I know I had an empty slot somewhere. I was putting teams together and then looking at different types of players and stuff like that I could consider and whatnot. Like right here, I think I did put together that one. 51.5 with 33 shield. No. 55 with 27, 55 with 27.5, 57 with 23.5 shield. I'm trying to determine like what do I want to try out. Like there's so many things, and there's so many ways now, and so that's the thing that makes it trippy. And let me show you like this one. Okay, let me show you like this one. Okay, so you click on here, right? Oh no, this is, sorry guys, sorry. Like I said, I just have a lot on my mind, and just want to make sure I give you guys a clear and detailed explanation. And so I start from scratch, not from what I have already, right? So you're gonna pick your players and blah blah blah, and then when you do, you're gonna go on here and it's gonna tell you tap to set a bond. Right? So like let's say then this is one of the primary teams that I wanna possibly play. Okay, so I'm gonna put them right there. Okay, and so when you go here, usually it's like this, right? Okay, so confirm that. Okay, so this is my base team basically that I put together. Okay, before, of course, all of these conditions needed to be met by players on the field. That's why, like, at the time that I made the Aoi video, I was like, well, right now we don't have any skill type players. And then boom, they brought us, well, Roberto. I had forgotten about Roberto, and then they brought him right up. But Ishizaki was probably the main one. And I guess I made the mistake of thinking that even then, like, there was a little bit of confusion as to how the bond stuff was going to work. Knowing that Ishizaki provides, I think it's 5.5 and 5% and like bond and shield or something like that. It's a little bit higher than this. But the problem before was that you needed 3 agility type club members. I still think that's a little bit of an issue because, well, you know, you still have to have 2 guys right here on the bench. 2 guys right here on the bench. But at least you can activate it now, as opposed to before where it was impossible because you needed to have those players on the field. So remember, now your bond conditions are met by players on the field and or the bench. Okay, this is why I have Pepe and Boban on the bench here, on the bench, because I'm going to show you then why I had mentioned in previous videos why this Boban was going to be so important to a lot of different teams. 4% stats, 20% auto intercept, and 3.5 shield. So that's a lot of stuff that you get off of one card. The only downside is that he's going to take up 2 spots on your bench, but that's not too bad because since you're allowed 5 out of 7 subs, if you already have like your 5 players that you know you may or may not sub in, then those 2 slots don't hurt as much. Especially now with, you know, the fact that it's a 7-player bench as opposed to 5 when it used to be, and that was tough. I hated that because then you would have like 2 players, sometimes 3 for TS. You would only have like 2 players left over for subs, and that sucked. But that was back in the day. All right, so now I'm looking here and I'm like kind of like, okay, what do I want to put together and blah blah blah. Now this is how I came up with a lot of my stuff, okay? Because to me, auto intercept is very important, and I think it should be to a lot of people, most likely on your defenders. But like, let's say, I guess depending on what your style is. So let's go with auto select. First, before I even start messing around with the debuff, this is a good tool to use because you can select from here how is it that you want it to automatically do it for you, so that you can see what is the highest, or in this case the lowest, you could debuff somebody based on what you have available in your account. Player card selected from your account. So once again, if you've been playing for a long time, well, most likely you're gonna have access to a lot of different cards that you can use. And so now any new players coming into the fray, they're gonna struggle a bit. But even then, any new player, whenever they come in, it's always a struggle. Again, it's a race, not a marathon. This game is the opposite. The game is not a race, it's a marathon. More so now, because when you start off, you need player cards that you're going to be able to potentially use for bonds and stuff like that, regardless of how old they may be, because some of them might have some use for bonds to them. Okay, some. But okay, so let's say I wanted to see what can I do for debuff. That's crazy that it says adapt to the current team or not adapt to the current team. Well, I mean, I would imagine that I wanted to adapt to what I'm using. Oh, I guess unless it just wants to tell me, oh, what's the highest amount of, okay, what's the highest debuff that you can get with, regardless of what your team makeup is like. 61.5. But you see here, I only have 10 out of 15 bond conditions activated. So I don't have that one. I don't have that one. I don't have that one. So then if I were to have them activated, I would have 5%. 5%, that's 10. And then this guy, no, that's a bond up, not bond down. So 10. So I would reach 71.5% debuff. This is 1.5. This is 1.5. That's 3% bond. And then this is what, the other 2%? 2%. So 6. So that would be plus 7 minus 71.5. Makes us for a total of 78.5. 71 plus 10. No, 71 plus 8. No, what did I say? 71 plus 7. 71 plus 7. 71 plus 7. So 78.5. Okay. But now, I don't want it like that. I want it to fit my team. So, adapt to the current team. Yeah. Let's go back to stats now. So, it's always going to change back. 71% with 4%, but I think it still puts in counts. So you see, you could use it as a base. Or let's say I wanted to then. I want to go by stats down. Okay. So if I wanted to, this one's interesting because at the time I was complaining about this Payol. He has plus 4 and he has minus 3.5%, which is not bad because I could still, I could beef myself up a little bit because I don't have too much in stats while still contributed to the stats down. So 69.5% right here plus 8 is a total of 77.5%. And like, I guess a bond, what should we call this? Bond efficiency? Bond efficacy, just bonds in general. Like in Spanish we were saying beneficios, which translates to benefits. So benefits, 77.5% in benefits is what we could form here. Now if I just wanted to go to balance, 60 with 9%, and it gives me the 9% just because of this one player that's a really high number, 9%. But a lot of players nowadays are going to be coming in with shields because there's a fearful like 72 or 80 something% debuff available. So if you get caught with no shields whatsoever, running a team like this at 66% and only 3% shield, which comes from the almighty Nita God that everybody wanted, everybody pulled. So K-Lab was just doing us a favor. They're like, nah. Trust me, Nako. You want this Nita so much, dude, that I'm gonna give him to you not just once, but twice. That Matsuyama, nah, man. He's only good with stats. You want Nita. Or let me give you Tsubasa even though you have the SDF one. Oh, you wanted him for the shot skill? The overhead? That's nice. Well, guess what? SDF Basa can't score anymore now. Damn it. Wish I had got Matsuyama. And one Nita only. I didn't need 2. That's not even my preferred Nita. I have the 97 one because they gave me 2 of them. Anyway, point is, you see, you can auto select all you want if you don't know what's up. But now let's play around with it a little bit. Okay? Based on this team, we're back to 0. Okay? Well, let me show you actually, so I don't go through all of that. Let me just show you then. You just tap here. I'm going to show you how to sort through it, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm going to show you what I've already pre-assembled so you kind of get an idea of like some of the stuff that you could put together. Okay, some of the stuff that you could put together. So you have your filter here. Like, let's say you've already come up with some sort of like, I'm probably getting ahead of myself, but like, let's say you came up with something. You're like, well, I need a few more stats up. Well, you know, the Dream Festival and the Dream Collection ones are the primary ones that come with the stats up. Well, but in this case, I had click stats down. Hello. You know, I could do that, right? And just look for the ones that you already know are going to give you the highest at 6. Because you can't sort them here by stats, unfortunately, or by this. You can do, of course, by nationality and everything, if you already know what's up. If you need a specific affiliation or team. By hidden skill and bond and stuff like that, you know. So there's stuff like that for you to be able to make your choices a lot easier. Me personally, I had already done a lot of like favorites and whatever. So what I did is, like, when I was looking at a bunch of shield players, right? I was looking at a bunch of shield players, and then I clicked the favorites. because I had already looked at some of these that I was going to want, including this Boban, including this Misaki right here. That gives you 4%. 4%. So you get 9.5% in benefits. This guy right here, Ishisaki, plus 5 and with plus 4 shield. This guy, plus 4.5 to stats, 4% shield. You know. This guy, of course, this is going to be a staple in a lot of people's teams. So that's the thing. If you're playing heavy debuff, here's the thing that's kind of trippy. You know, if you're playing heavy debuff, a lot of people are preparing for that. So a lot of people are preparing shields with a significant amount of bond. I think Steiner's team was up to 61% bond and like about 25 point something percent shield, maybe a little bit higher. So I couldn't get that high. It was only like 50 something percent bond and like 20 something percent shield. But I'm able to add on a lot of auto intercept, a lot across the field. So I have the liberty of making a team where I could have players that have initially no natural auto intercept whatsoever, have them be very dangerous now, or at least very annoying on the field now. Okay, so let me show you. So now I already showed you how you could pick stuff, right? So you're gonna, let's say you pick this guy, blah blah blah, you look at his stuff, confirm, okay, cool. You see right here how you took up 2 slots, but you'll notice the number still is number 1 and this still number 1. So now you're slot number 2. And when you go to Tsubasa, see, I didn't even need to unlock these. Why? Because they don't matter. Not even this one, because this is to the own stats. The own stats. So it's not going to do anything. The only thing that's going to matter is this, the plus 5 right here, and the plus 5 right here. Confirm. He takes up 2 slots, but again, it's a 2 and a 2. And that's it. Okay? Don't forget to hit confirm, or else it's not going to count him. Okay, so now let me show you a couple of ideas real quick. So like, let's say, okay, these guys, I was able to match them up exactly the same, but I might make some changes because you see this one I have a higher bond with slightly lower shield. So, but let me show you an idea, taking into account that these are exactly the same in terms of the bond, 55% and 27.5% shield. But as you see, the makeup of the team is slightly different, right? Significant in some areas, but you know, with some key players on there. I think the 4 constants here are Misaki, Tsubasa, Roberto, Michael, Genzo, almost all of them. So there's only like 4 players that are different. Okay. So one of the ideas that I had here was Roberto being my primary ball handler, or Tsubasa with the Vert Crisis, but also Natureza with the Vert Crisis to at least help get rid of some of that, you know, the cluster F that hangs that could clog up the midfield or whatever, with his dribble range enhanced. I could try and get past defenders or whatever, all just to give Misaki an opportunity to go forward and, you know, try and shoot with him. Of course, because I don't have Hyuga on this squad, I have him on. I have a version of Hyuga. I don't even have one on the bench here. I need to change that. I will be opting for the high-speed Tornado Sky Alpha. This is where this guy comes into play, because this guy has a high baller. High baller will be cool here, because all these practices and stuff that I've done by doing the verses or whatever, I've been so annoyed with trying to get this guy a high ball and coming up short, because I keep coming up with the volley that I feel like I need to have an option to secure that high ball, yes or yes. So I feel forced to play this guy, but at the same time, this guy is not bad at all. I don't remember when was it that he underwent a rework. Almost, I don't think anybody has him under their radar at all. I like that now with the new bond system, I don't have to worry about what his previous bond was, which was at plus 2.5, minus 4. I can play him however I want, and this is how I want him in this team. A 55% buff. Well, I would want a little bit more than that, but this is what I put together. 27.5% shield. Because look at him. Dribble and pass above 30k, right? 31k for dribble past 30. Look at Tsubasa. 28 in dribble past 29. Speed 24, technique 29. This guy has speed 30, technique 28. Granted, Tsubasa is stronger defensively, 31 and 28. This guy's 22 and 25. But, you know, and of course he has avert crisis and all that. But the thing is that this guy is not useless, and he's actually strong. Look at those stats. He even rivals Roberto's in terms of raw stats. Yeah, this guy is gonna get stronger as the match goes down because of this passive, right? But this guy comes also with Insight Master. So if they want to think that this guy is a cone and that they're gonna, like, you know, I'm gonna keep coming into matchups with this guy, well, the only thing that you do need for him though is if Roberto sees him if anybody that has Roberto sees Christensen on the floor, I can almost guarantee you they're gonna go after him thinking that he can't take away the ball. Can he? I don't know. Maybe with Inside Master he might. But the thing is that nowadays, because of that Roberto's existence, you need to have 3 intercepts, okay? And this Christensen does come with it. So if I get lucky enough where the Vivid intercept survives the blockage, maybe even with Swift interception, I don't know. But for sure, I think with Vivid intercept, I could take that ball away from Roberto if he decides to pass. But in order to get his strongest intercept, the Vivid intercept and the Nibble sliding, you need to get him from the other card, the blue one, the Halloween one, that gives minus 7.5% in stats now. Okay, so he's a modestly armed player that I think could surprise people, and I'm gonna use them. I'm gonna try and use them, and this is one of the ideas that I had with them, right? So now right here, I have a bunch of, like, I was debating whether to use this Owaidan or to use the gacha one, because I still like the gacha card that it has plus 30% to Japanese against Japanese players and what's it called, 50% Insight Master. 50% Insight Master. So he's actually not bad and definitely worth considering. Okay. So right here, even though you see that the DC Owaidan is stronger than the gacha one, of course, when you factor in the 50%, when you factor in the 30% here, and then the 50% here, and then at least this one is a better blocker than this one, and I have a feeling that this Owaidan right here is capable of stopping Misaki because of the color advantage, Japanese player killer, Insight Master. And maybe against, he could do some damage against Natureza because of the 50%. I think that Insight Master is not something that should be overlooked. So if you want to, you know, try him out, I'm going to test him out. Especially I was waiting for the new bond system, but, you know, I'm going to test him out, see what's up. But this is sort of an idea of what I had. Okay. I have auto intercept almost all around the board, at least in the back end. No, I don't actually. I only have it on 4 players. On Aoi, Ishizaki, and all of my defenses, right? And then you look at this one. Same exact bond, shield. But the thing is, right here, I have even less auto intercept. Less. Nowhere. And I have this Hyuga. And you're like, Nako, what are you doing with that Hyuga? Again, this guy is not going to make a splash in scoring. Neither is the DC one. He is weaker than the DC Hyuga, of course. Of course. The DC Hyuga is going to reach higher shot numbers than this. But this guy, at least, his speed is higher than DC Hyuga. Oh, but that's because I have him. Because I have him elevated here through his stats, obviously. So I think in raw stats, if I remove that 3400, he's actually lower than DC Hyuga. So I apologize for that. But the thing with this guy, look at him, okay? This is a little useless, but at the same time, you want to get cute with it, why not? You increase your stats 20%. Insight Master, I don't think it's necessarily good. I don't know if it might help you to at least surprise somebody and steal the ball. He boosts himself up by 20%, so who knows? The system was just changed, and before the system, this card was completely and utterly useless. Now, maybe he's simply a placeholder. Maybe he's simply a cone for my Misaki. That's true. That could be true. But the simple fact that at least It's only a 20% increase, but still, that hurts enough for somebody to not want to be facing this Hyuga all the time. They might face him once and be like, yeah, I'm going to take advantage of this Hyuga. Cool. If they don't notice a stamina killer, then they're doing damage to themselves. If they do, most likely they're going to try and avoid them. But here's the thing then too. Maybe the Inside Master does some surprises and blah, 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 whatever. You know, he doesn't have much going on for him. The only thing that it looks like he's going to do is open up the shot for Misaki. Okay. But the way that I have my team set up right here, I don't just have stats of 55%. I don't just have shield 27.5%. But as you can see here, auto intercept enhance. 70% is my total. And that 70% is across the board to all players. How did you get there, you ask? Ooh, should I keep it a secret? Ooh, let me keep it a secret from you guys, dude. Well, I gave you guys a lot of tips and stuff, right? Right? I've shown you like ideas and stuff, right? Do I want to show you how I got there though? I guess that I do have to keep it a secret. I know I said I was going to show you. I'm pretty sure. If not in this video, in the previous one, I said, I'm going to show you guys how I got to it, blah, blah, blah. But then again, then I'd be giving up my own advantage, right? Because again, we're all going to come up with stuff and you know, I'm giving you ideas. Look. I got the same thing here, right? 70%. So now what you're gonna see is with these guys, it's not as big an effect here, but it kind of is. This guy will benefit from it. This guy will benefit from it. All of my midfield right here will benefit. Michael will benefit. So all the remaining players, obviously, these guys that were not at 100% obviously will be at 100% now, which is these two. So that's cool. But I find it a little bit bigger, more crucial, more beneficial in a squad like this, where this Matsuyama, you're kind of like, man, Nako, that's crazy. But this Matsuyama right here, plus 1.5 to Japanese players. Oh, you want to face up against my Matsuyama because you think he's easy to take out? Okay, well, you're going to debuff yourself on the next one. And if you don't have skill block cancel, well, here comes that. Okay. But this guy also, he has this, the enhanced special skills plus 50%. So that's practically an automatic full body stand, right? So now all of these guys will have 70% because not a single one other than this Aoi comes with natural auto intercept. He's the only one. All of these guys. Oh yeah, and Misugi. My bad, dude, my bad. So these two, now that they were not at 100%, they're beyond 100%. So of course they're gonna activate this guy. Japanese players, all stats plus 1.5, further boosting my Misaki and my Genzo by another 3% to an already at 55. Okay. Inside Master. So when you come out to a matchup, okay, I can't pass over him because he has auto intercept. Let me go face him up in a matchup. I have that. Special skill block. I have that. Recover. See, so not bad. Mark defense, okay. I mean, he's not like the greatest when you compare him to like these guys, right? But the Inside Master will help out a bit. I'm also curious about this Igawa right here because the only thing is that I kind of want to change things up because I would want Igawa in the center. So I would want probably like a 4 defensive formation. Because I think with his block and his power, Misugi is at 34,000 here and at 28. This guy's at 28 and 26. I'm curious. I'm still very curious as to whether he gets, see a ground shot against Misaki. But if he gets one against either Misaki or Natureza, the high ball is 30% and he has 15% as well. So 45% increase will bring that 28 at almost 50% is 14k. So that brings it at to almost 42. So you'll be looking at probably a 41k 41K block. 41K block, and he's very good with high balls, so I think it'll be even higher. Power, you're looking at about 13, almost 40K. So, you know, I think it's possible that he might be good. And now, no, but I need this guy in the vital area and the penalty area to get him. So, you know, I could kind of play with it a little bit, but I like this squad a little bit more than this squad. But I like this too. And I don't have him on my bench, you see? So, I'm going to spend a few days with this, of course, but at least now you've got an idea as to how it works. Some of the things that you're able to do, what are you capable of producing? In this case, what makes it a little bit hard for me here is that, remember, you cannot change your bonds at the half. So if you try and do that, it's whatever you go in with is what you're fighting with, is what you're playing with. So it could get tricky with some people, since a lot of us seem to be focusing on some shields, and the heavy debuffers are like, okay, well, I gotta figure out a way to take out on these shield guys, right? What if there's some people that are like, well, for the time being, while people adjust their teams, I'm just gonna go in with full bond. Anybody that comes in with full bond will have right here an 11% advantage over my players. 11% advantage over my players in terms of stats up, so that will be quite significant. So it makes it a little hard. I'm more prepared to deal with a team that is running some form of shield, because they'll be roughly around the same bond as me, or a little bit slightly higher, but not 11%. And a debuff, well, you know, right here I have in benefits, I have a total of 82.5. So, you know, if I find somebody that's straight debuff at 80% or something like that, then, you know, we'll be slightly even, or at least be able to, you know, play with them. And then there's the other thing too about, there's that one Sorimachi, right? So if you come across a full debuff, then you bring in that Sorimachi, and then I don't know, man. I don't know. There's a lot to play with, so I hope that you put your gears into motion and see what it is that you have available, and see what it is that you can come up with. Share with me in the comments, what do you think, not what do you think, what's like maybe the highest you come up with, or what do you think your strategy is going to be, or what, you know. It leaves a lot of things open for you to finally form your kind of like quote unquote dream team, at least within what's within your limits, based on the players that you have available. Because obviously I would want to have other different players to my access to, but I don't. So I can't fully form a true dream team just yet, but as close as I can get, at least. Okay, so hope this video helped you. Hopefully this get you going and trying to form the team of your dreams. And hopefully you come up with something cool and creative and fun, and something that works in PvP, and then we'll see how it goes. And for that, as far as that, don't forget as well to please like, subscribe, help me reach that 1,000 and beyond. Come back for some more, because this is just getting started. This is getting interesting now. Let's go. As always, please practice kindness, be respectful, be responsible, be safe. Take care of yourself and each other with much love and peace. Till the next video.